Hey everybody, Derek here to bring another video for The Walking Dead, Season 7. And what I want to do with this video is try to figure out whether I think Carol will join the fight against the Saviors in Season 7, or whether she will stay out of the fight. If you are not caught up with The Walking Dead and you do not want to be spoiled in any way, then I suggest you exit the video now and come back later, because otherwise you will be spoiled. Okay, so when you look at Carol's character overall and you track her progress over the last 6 seasons and to where she is now, I think there's this frequent theme that has followed Carol and has been a part of her character even before the apocalypse has started. And it's this pressure as to whether she should act and do something, or whether she should not act and either let somebody else do something or let things play out the way they are. And I think that that's definitely been something that we have seen Carol struggle with ever since the show has started. You know, you go back all the way to Season 1 and Season 2, you saw that Carol didn't act. You know, you saw that Carol really relied on other people to protect her, that she shielded Sophia from learning about the real dangers of the world, and what happened? Sophia died. Then you get to Season 4, and you find that Carol is actually more willing to be involved, to do things, to actually make decisions that maybe she didn't have to make. You see that with her training the kids to learn about weapons, to fight. And I think the biggest thing, of course, was Carol and David. This idea of, should she act? Should she kill Karen and David and prevent the spread of the virus? Or should she not act and hope that things went, okay, that people didn't get sick? And it turned out that she did act. She killed Karen and David. And as a result, she just ended up committing murder, killed 2 people, and people still got sick and died. So that was a time where she acted and it turned out badly. And then you get to Lizzie and Mika. She didn't act. She didn't do enough to work with Lizzie to maybe make her become a different person, to maybe make Mika tougher. And as a result, that situation ended up badly. But you get to other situations like Terminus, where she did act. And she saved a lot of lives. The Wolves, she acted. She saved a lot of lives. But then you also have Sam. You know, she acted, and that, in a sense, really hurt Sam, made him scared, and was part of the reason I think that Sam was eaten by the walkers in No Way Out. Then you get to the point where she doesn't want to act by fighting the Saviors. She ends up getting kidnapped. And as a result, she has to do more killing there, go through a terrible experience. Then you get to the part where she leaves Alexandria, doesn't want to do anything with them anymore, wants to be alone so she doesn't have to make these decisions anymore, and she ends up running into more Saviors, and she gets to the point where she is in the story now, where she is part of the Kingdom community, but she's not living inside of the walls. She's living in basically a house outside of the community where she can be by herself, but she can also visit, that she can at least come in and see people and socialize with them, and that way she's not totally alone. And I think it's a fair compromise for her right now. But like I said, I think that really, when you look at Carol's character, that has really been a big theme that I think has brought her to where she's at. This idea of, she doesn't want to act anymore. She doesn't want to have to make those decisions anymore and potentially have consequences that might end people's lives or cause her more emotional stress, anxiety, sadness, disgust over the fact that she has killed people. I think that it's a combination of a lot of those factors. And I think that that's really why Carol's character has gotten to this point, because she has acted and it's turned out badly at times, and also she's just tired of the endless killing. I think that that's pretty clear, that in a sense she kind of lost hope. I think that she just thought if I stay with Alexandria, if I stay with this community and there's another threat, we're going to have to fight again. And then there's going to be another threat and I'm going to fight again. And I'm just not willing to do that anymore. I can't put myself through that anymore. So I'm going to remove myself from the situation and be alone. And I can understand why Carol would want to do that. And I think that really now it's very important for Carol to have that bridge so she can be alone. So that way she can kind of work through this a little bit. Because I think that really she hasn't had a lot of time to work through everything, to maybe mentally prepare herself for what might come next. And just in general survival. You know, there was a time when Carol just wanted to say, look, Morgan, let me die. Leave me alone. And I think that it's pretty clear that she does want to live. She, as she said back in season 5, she's in no hurry to die. But if it comes to be her time, then she's not going to fight it, I think is really where she's at right now. And of course, she doesn't know about what happened. She doesn't know that the Saviors ended up taking many members of Rick's group hostage and killing Abraham and Glenn, and then, of course, taking Daryl with them back to the sanctuary. What is she going to do when she finds out about that? Well, obviously, she's going to be very upset, very sad. I mean, Glenn is somebody that's been in the group ever since Atlanta. You know, that's somebody that Carol has lived with and survived with for a very long time. And I think that's going to have a very serious impact on her. Even though we haven't seen a lot of scenes shared between the two of them, I think the bond is absolutely there. Same thing with Abraham. I think that it's really going to be sad to see anybody from that group. You know, they fought together, they lived together, they were a family. That's going to hurt Carol as well. But I think what's really, really going to affect her is when she finds out about Daryl. And quite frankly, I think she will end up fighting in some way. Whether she's going to be on the front lines along with Rick, standing alongside him, or maybe somebody in the kingdom and fighting, I could see that happening, but I think that maybe she might be used in a different way, maybe. Now, whether it's going to be something that she volunteers for, thinks of on her own, that's definitely going to be a big question. Plus, what exactly is going to motivate her to do this? Because I think that when she does find out about Daryl, she's going to want to make sure that in some way he's rescued. You know, she definitely cares about Daryl a lot, and she doesn't want to see him in the hands of the Saviors. So what's Carol going to do about it? Well, I think she's going to definitely get involved. I think that once she finds out about this, and I think that once she has some talks with some people, I think she's going to find a motivation to maybe work towards something. Because when you think about what's going on here, you have Alexandria, you have the Hilltop, you have the Kingdom, you have a network of communities that in a sense resemble what life was like before. And I think that really that's something else that Carol is really looking for. Carol is looking for that motivation to live, to survive, to have a greater purpose than just daily survival. I think that the thing is it's never really a good thing to kill people, obviously. I mean, it's absolutely horrifying. War is a terrible thing. I mean, we've seen the horrors of war in the past, but sometimes war is necessary in order to bring about something. And I think for Carol's sake, I think that if she was fighting for a particular purpose, then I think that she can find it within herself to bring herself to that state where she could. And I think that Rick might help her a little bit. I think Rick might have some talks with her. I think Morgan will definitely be a good source. And perhaps even Ezekiel will help her, really guide her to get to that point and make a decision. And I think that really the theme is going to be fighting for a better world, a greater world. That if Negan is out of the way, if the Saviors are out of the way, that these communities can then work together. They can be a great source for each other to survive, to help rebuild this world. And I think that's something that Carol can get behind and believe in if presented in the right way and with enough convincing and with enough time for her to work through everything. I think she can do that. Plus, also, her love for Daryl, I think, will cause her to do that. Now, how exactly will this happen? That's something I'm very interested to see. because I could see Carol doing one of two things potentially in this war. One of the things that I was thinking about was that she might be doing her undercover trick again. That is something I have thought about. It does make you wonder what's going to happen with the Daryl storyline, what's going to happen with Dwight. Are they going to turn? Are they going to, be a force? Or is Carol also going to be a part of that? Because when you look at everything that has happened, you realize that nobody in the Saviors community knows who Carol is at this point, because all the Saviors in episode 12 died. All the Saviors that knew her in episode 13 died. And then, of course, she left the community. They only knew in episode 15 when she ran into that group, they only knew that she was from the community because she stole a car that had the spears sticking out of it. They didn't go, oh, hey, look, it's that, Carol woman from Alexandria. Yeah, hi, how you doing? They didn't do that. They had no idea who she was except for the car. So obviously, I think that she can blend in. I think that she can be the person that could be undercover, that they could send her into a situation, or she might volunteer to go undercover, present herself as somebody who, is weak, that the Saviors could use, that maybe she might, present herself and say, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm all alone. I don't know what to do. Help me. And that maybe the Saviors will foolishly take her in. And at that point, Carol will then help formulate a plan, that she would be the inside person that would either get Daryl out of there, or that all of them combined would find a way to weaken the sanctuary itself. They might do something similar to what happened in Terminus. They might plant a bomb somewhere. They might set the place on fire, make a weak point so that the group can, invade it. That I could see happening, because I just don't see Carol as the person that is on the front lines. I mean, I think she could fight, but I could see her being used for some better purpose. And she is known for going undercover. She is known for, using an undercover persona at Alexandria. She did it at the Kingdom. It's very clear that she knows how to do that well, and I think she could play that part in the Sanctuary if she decides to do this. The only other thing that I could think of that they could do for her would be that she would set up some kind of a trap, that maybe, for instance, they might send her into a situation where they might lure some of the Saviors out, and Carol might end up using some kind of resource to trap them. So in a sense, they look at Carol and they think, oh, well, she's no problem. She's not a threat. But then all of a sudden they realize that she does have something dangerous in mind. Maybe she's used as the person that they see, and then there's people hiding above, and maybe buildings or trees or something. I could see that happening too. But you never know. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen with Carol's character. She could just join the front lines. It's also very possible she might help out in other ways. Maybe she's just going to guard one of the communities. It's very possible that they might just say, listen, you stay behind here at the Kingdom and guard it. It's very possible that she might not be a part of the fight in those ways. But I think that no matter what, you are going to see a little fire burning in Carol that will get her back, that will basically help her join up with the Kingdom and the Hilltop and Alexandria in this fight. And I think she'll fight in some way. But how definitely will be determined depending on how these episodes go. But that's what I think will happen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that Carol's going to fight? Do you think she'll fight in one of the ways I suggested? Could you see her doing something else? Don't be afraid to let me know. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if you have any suggestions for future videos that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. I hope you all have a very wonderful evening, and thank you all very much for watching.